we are back again with XO Kitty Season 2. I left off wondering if there would be developments here. You know, can I see a cause and effect in these characters and their lives? With Yuri and Kitty and their whole love storyline, I said to myself, you know what? Don't let that get to you. Don't let it get to you. This time, just let the story be. Because if you focus on that, you'll get nowhere. The show still kind of irked me a little bit. It surprised me in ways that I did not think it would surprise me though. Well, in one big way. And I'll get to that in a second. It actually influenced my outfit for today. Well, my shirt, because I have on pajama pants. Keeping it real. Episode 1 is basically the catch-up episode. Kitty is back at Kiss. Day is not over Kitty. Mino is not over Kitty. Professor Lee and Teacher Alex are building their father-son relationship. Kitty is rooming with Juliana and Yuri. Kitty also realizes that her semester before, she did not do much of trying to get to know her mom. You know, the whole chasing after everybody and liking everybody thing kind of took over. So she's like, okay, this semester I'm really gonna focus on seeing what my family history is, trying to get to know my mom, trying to learn more about her. In that, Simon, according to Professor Lee, is the boy that her mom chose to follow to Korea against her parents' wishes. Now, Kitty was on FaceTime with her grandma, and she's like, you know, hey grandma, how you doing? Grandma like, hey, so I heard that mom followed Simon here. Can you tell me more about that? Do you remember? Like, you were against it, right? And she followed him to Korea. And what happened? What was that? Her grandma got off that phone so fast. Like, I am not about to sit here and talk to you about Simon and your mama. Real shady on that phone call. Like, girl, my connection is fading. I gotta go. Like, girl, you could ask the question. Mino's showboating talent agent dad shows up out of nowhere, and then we understand Mino a little bit better because he has not one but 2 narcissists for parents. So yeah, I would be walking around mad too. Oh, and then we learned that there is also a 4th roommate that rooms with Yuri's. I was just about to say her name. Yuri, Kitty, Juliana, and that is Stella. Or at least she told them her name is Stella. Her real name is Esther. And the episode ends with a phone call and a text from her parents. And her parents said, please come home. You don't have to do this. So it's like, you don't have to do what? What's this sneaky bitch up to? You know? Episode 2 is what I refer to as the is it just me episode. Because the whole time I was watching it, I'm like, is it just me, or, you know, it was one of those things. Is it just me, or is Kitty wrong for friend zoning Day? Like, I can understand she had feelings for someone else, right? But arguably, her bond with Day is much stronger. Let's take out the whole boyfriend girlfriend thing, right? They had a long distance relationship that lasted over 4 years. She met Yuri and it was not even an instant physical attraction, it was a drunken night. So you have this 4 years of communicating through writing, phone calls, all these things, not seeing this person in person, not hanging out with them, not kissing them, not holding their hand, not hugging them, not holding them, not doing anything physically, but you still have this strong bond that lasted for years. Why was she so quick, and how did she so easily give up on that relationship? That is puzzling to me. I don't get that. Let's take Yuri and Kitty out of it, because y'all know how I feel. But Kitty and Day, like, how do you just not feel anything? And it wasn't like a, you know, I still have feelings for Day. It's like, oh, that's my friend, and that's it. I'm on to Yuri. It's very weird. It's very weird. Also, is it just me, or did they make these kids like airheads on purpose? What is up with this Q and I forget his name, the guy who's his teammate, Johnny or whatever his name is? Why? Again, they were rivals, right? They didn't get along. They're teammates, they don't get along. But they meet each other in the gay club, and now all of a sudden it's dance with me. Okay. If you hate somebody and they don't like you, but because, oh, we're at the same club, oh, you're gay too, oh, let's dance. Could we have not waited to get to that? Or is this just the thing? Is this something that happens? Am I out of the loop? Like, am I just like crazy? Then we dive more into Kitty, Juliana, and Yuri. And it could just be me, but I absolutely understand Juliana. Even though she lied about, the whole talk to your mom thing. She told her, oh yeah, you should talk to your mom, reach out to her so you guys can get on better terms. But that was really Kitty's idea to do that. She stole the idea, but whatever. She deserved it because, to me, she's just protecting her relationship. I can see if Yuri and Kitty only gave off friend vibes, but because it was always this weird energy and she always caught the energy, like, okay, what's going on here? I can understand her in her actions. No fault there. I get it. Mino and his dad give us a deeper look at who this Stella girl is, because she takes up for him during like an argument. And at this point, I'm really curious as to who she is, because where's all this energy coming from? Like, why are you going so hard for Mino and you just met him? It's one thing to be on his side and be like, okay, hey, your dad is, that was kind of rough for your dad to say that, but she's getting in his face like, you know what I'm saying? You don't do that to somebody that you just met. And then, of course, in the mix of all of this, Kitty finds out that Simon is not her mom's first love. He's actually her mom's cousin. So that just makes this whole thing different. So now it's the holiday weekend. But it starts off kind of rocky because Kitty let it slip that Yuri and Juliana be slobbing each other down in the dorms. So now Yuri had to move back with her mom, and Juliana is still rooming with Kitty and Stella. She didn't do it on purpose. She didn't sabotage, which it would make sense for her to sabotage because, this is the love of her life. Mino's dad wants to take him skiing like he used to do when he was younger. Only thing is, it's the wrong kid. And then Mino says, all of my siblings are spending the holidays with their moms, with an S. It's like, how many baby mamas do you have and how many kids do you have? Mino's story is so deep, it just keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse. He's one of many. But I feel like his mom probably only has one child because she's just way too freelance with it. But his dad, yeah, a little how. Pravina, Kitty, and Mino get this 1993 time capsule, and they find this tape that Gina and Kitty's mom made. That did not sound right. Let me try that. Let's try that one again. In the time capsule, there's a VHS tape that Gina and Eve made. Y'all know what happened, okay? I don't need to make it sound right. On the tape, Eve is talking about what her life looks like in the next 40 years. She's talking about marriage. She's talking about being friends with Gina. She's talking about having at least one child and wanting it to be a girl. And just being happy and hopefully having her family back together. Simon is off screen on the tape. He's asking her question. Gina is off screen on the tape. She's asking questions. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a very touching moment. I might have shed a couple of tears. But really it's because, that TMI that I gave y'all the other day, well, that came to fruition, so I really think that's why I was crying. It was a touching moment. I'm not gonna blame it on that. It was a touching moment. Well, until they messed it up. I don't understand. Why are y'all kissing? Why? For what? For what? You already pissed off Juliana by missing her art show to go get this tape. And now you're kissing the girl that you ditched her for? Mino walks in on them engaged in a kiss, and he's as confused as I was in the last video. Like, since when do you like Yuri? Why this kiss is happening because of what? And of course this whole big ski trip is going on, or is about to happen. So he's like, don't ruin this trip. You know, my dad finally wants to spend some time with me. I'm inviting all of y'all. Don't mess it up. Well, his dad doesn't even show. How do you beg your kid to do something and then completely ditch them? You asked him to come. He the one who said, oh, well, I have plans. And then you do this. But in this episode, it's very much the definition of like whoever likes you. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. Look, choreo player. Pravina, who I mentioned, she's been like the tag along rebound, but not really for Kitty. She's really just taking up space. Day is struggling to connect with Eunice, who really likes him, but she is a little bit weird, so I don't blame him for being like, you know, like, stay over there. Mino actually is starting to like Stella, but he's still not over Kitty, and it's very obvious. Kitty likes Yuri, but Yuri friend-zoned her so hard after that kiss. It was this letter that Kitty wrote, and she put all her feelings like, oh, you're just this, and you're that, and you're just so awesome. And the letter started to circulate, and Yuri was like, hey, did you write a letter about me? Because I didn't know you felt that strongly. This is just a mistake for me. Like, what's going on with you? Like, it was very much so like, don't come over here with that. I'm trying to get my girl back. Do not come over here with that. This was not that. Oh my God. This is off topic, but it made me think about in high school. It was like, it was one of the last days of high school. We had our senior yearbooks. I was writing in this girl's yearbook. I'm like, you know, have a good time in college. You're gonna do so great. And I was just writing all these nice things. And she said to me as I'm writing, man, you taking a long time. And I was just like, oh. So I finished writing, but then I noticed that she had stopped writing a while ago. So I'm writing this whole paragraph. When I get my book back from her, guess what it said? Have fun. I'm sorry, what? What? Have fun? It was very much so a one-sided friendship, because I thought it was gonna be a mutual well wishes thing. She Yuri'd me so hard. Whew. It was funny though. I couldn't do nothing but laugh. But honestly, this is where the big surprise for me happened. This is where I just completely was taken off guard. Like, hold on. I just threw in the towel. I threw in the towel. Because, you know, Kitty did this whole kiss thing. Everybody's mad at her. Juliana and Yuri broke up. All this stuff is going on. She's sitting in the jacuzzi. She's crying her eyes out. And Mino comes out there to talk to her. He comes out there to console her. He's fully dressed head to toe. And she's like just needing a friend. He tells her, I'm gonna get in this jacuzzi with you. I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be a friend to you right now because you need it. And she's like, with all those clothes on, you're not getting in the jacuzzi. Mino takes his coat off and gets in the jacuzzi with a turtleneck on and some pants. A turtleneck and some pants. I said, I'm Team Mino. I'm Team Mino. That is so cute. I was so like, and he sat there and talked to her, burning up in that turtleneck. But he was in there. It was just such a lovely moment. And I was so happy for Kitty, for him to be a friend to her in that moment. You know what I mean? This is my Mino look. I dedicate my look to him today. today. I like Mino. Like I was already, after meeting his dad in this, I was already starting to connect more with him. Like, okay, you were grown. I wish they would have gave you a reason not to like Kitty, like a specific reason, but all of it is justified because you didn't have no help getting through this and you're just dealing with it the way you can. In this moment, here comes Stella ruining the moment, and they were talking about the letter, so automatically as an audience you're like, okay, she has something to do with the letter. And for some reason I automatically thought she is related to Kitty. She has to be related to Kitty, and she's trying to I don't know, get in where she can fit in and do something. I don't know why I thought that. I'm like, she's probably Simon's daughter or something of the sort. Now, how she would have known that she went to that school, I don't know. But somehow this is all connected in that way. And this is just how my mind was working at the time when I was watching. Because right after that moment, she and Mino went off and she gave him this little treasure chest that his dad had in his office of all these little things that Mino gave him as he was coming up. So Mino's like, oh, you know, I didn't know he kept this stuff. Like, this is awesome that he kept it. And it meant something to him, you know. But then Stella chooses this opportunity to ask about Kitty. Like, okay, what's going on with you and Kitty? So I'm like, see? She trying to figure it out. She trying to, you know, why is my cousin all up in your grill? Like, what's going on with you and my cousin? But before I can even rationalize more, Day walks in and hears that Mino was in love with Kitty. Now everybody is in get back mode. Okay, because this is just a lot has going on during the ski trip. Everybody tried to get back in with the person that they betrayed over this course of time. Mino tried to get back in with Day through Kitty, and Day was like, no, he's still self-centered, arrogant, and I don't want nothing to do with him. Good for you, Day, because even though I'm Team Mino, I agree. Kitty tries to get back in good graces with Yuri. Yuri is just kind of like, girl, I'm not even thinking about you. I'm trying to get my girl. Please stay away from me while I try to get my girl. Yuri tries to get back in with Juliana. Juliana's like, you really think that I'm gonna just take you back like that? Like, what did you think this was? No. Which I agree. Kitty tries to get back in with her family. Well, not back in because she was never in with them. But she tries to mend this broken family relationship that's been going on for decades now. And, you know, she finds out that her family, they have a matchmaking business and she's the self-proclaimed matchmaker. So it was kind of corny, I'm not gonna lie. But it was cute at the same time because it's like she has this thing that she's been doing since she was a little girl, and now she finds out that her family does it too. So it was still kind of corny. And so we meet one of her cousins who actually happens to be Simon's daughter. So I'm like, okay, so Stella is not Simon's daughter. Who the hell is Stella? Who the hell is Stella? I think that was like my biggest question this whole time. Who is Stella? This was episode 5. 8 episodes and I still don't know who Stella is. Okay. Alright. So then, unfortunately, Day's dad gets into a car accident. He had been severely overworked and falling asleep at the wheel and everything. So it's like, this is kind of bound to happen. The gang meets up with him at the hospital, you know, well wishes and all of that. And then the dad is like, you know, talking to Mino, like, I'm so happy that you're in Day's life and he has such a loyal friend. You know, make sure he doesn't get a job and try to help me out because we're not doing that. He's got to study, blah, blah, blah. He has you in his life. You're such a loyal and great friend. It's very awkward because even though I am Team Mino, I cannot believe I'm Team Mino. I did not like him last season, but I really like him. I'm Team Mino, but I gotta hold him accountable for his stuff. You fell in love with your friends, one of your best friends' girlfriend. That ain't cool. Even if they weren't together, but you still don't do that. That's a bro code. You know what I'm saying? And then, I'm not even gonna hold y'all, my face lit up and my mouth dropped when I saw Noah or Peter come into the next scene. But the next episode was about to play. I saw the little thumbnail. I'm just like, is that Noah? No, that ain't Noah. That can't be Noah. That's probably cute because I just saw the hair. And then it was Noah Centineo. I was like, oh my god, it's Noah. Noah always has some type of Netflix show or movie or something he's doing, so I'm pretty sure it was just like a phone call away, like, hey, can you going down a set for like a one-day shoot and he just shot on over there. I could see that being the case. So during his trip, he's there because he's playing lacrosse for college, and Lara Jean sends letters that Simon had been writing to her mom over the years. So she finds out that her mom was supposed to take a trip to Korea with her as a baby. All this time, she didn't think that her mom had any type of contact with her family or had any intentions on building the family back together. So after the video plus the letters, it's just like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And it was a very touching moment for her because of all the kids she was bringing her. She was 3 years old, but of course her mom died when she was 3 years old, so she never made it over to Korea to see her family. Now, I would have liked for her to call Lara Jean instead of Yuri in this moment, because Yuri didn't give her the letters, Lara Jean did, but whatever. So Juliana and Kitty, during all of this, they've made somewhat of a truce because neither one of them like Stella. She's weird, she's obnoxious, and she's behind this whole moon leaks thing, which that was their theory that ended up being correct. She was on one of those reality shows that Mino's dad hosted, and on the show he told her, you know, you can sing, but you're not that much of a looker, so it's gonna be a no for me. And this was her whole diabolical motive. Now, I will say that this story is very dumb. I don't know, I get that as a young person and being crushed, your dreams being crushed, somebody telling you you're ugly even though you're talented, that can be a lot. Some people will go the lengths to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again or to get back at somebody. They just made it corny though, like it's so corny. But you know, that's what we're dealing with in the show. Corniness, undeveloped storylines, underdeveloped characters, and that's where we're at. So the next thing that happens is Kitty has a dream about Mino. This whole time she's trying to convince him, you know, that Stella's not a good person. She's not who she says she is. There's something going on with her. Now, she conveniently has this dream right after he tells her that he was brokenhearted. And I'm starting to think she's one of those girls who only wants you when you're unavailable, which is quite problematic. Anytime that somebody's available, you know, Yuri was never available. But she conveniently just stops liking those people or doesn't give them a chance. But then, now, she's interested. I would not be surprised if as soon as she find out about Day and Eunice, you know, starting to get closer, she's gonna be like, oh, well, I still have feelings for Day. Like, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. Kitty's cousin finally meets with Kitty to talk about the whole family drama. Basically, Ji-won's grandma got mad at Kitty's grandma because Kitty's grandma left her to take care of their parents by herself in Korea. Like, that's the base of it. Now, I can understand as siblings being mad, not wanting to talk. You know, at most let it like a year go by. But to let a whole family, generation after generation, after no contact, disowning each other. The generations never knew that the other family existed. So it was just like, this is deep. This is real deep. Like, my family ain't the best, but I know they exist. You know what I'm saying? I might not talk to them, but I know they're there. That's like a different level of, I don't mess with you. But finally, the grandma agrees to meet with Kitty, and they meet at this market. And so, who shows up to make sure that she can properly communicate in Korean? None other than Mino. It was just like a knight in shining armor moment. Another reason why I'm Team Mino. No, that was cool that he showed up for her in that moment. So rounding all of this out, Stella decides to blackmail Mino's dad into letting her into this competition so that she can get her next opportunity to be this big star. And her whole thing is, I'm gonna blackmail you because I know some family secrets with her planning listening devices and everything. She knows that Mino's brother, Juno, he's expecting a baby from this backup dancer that Mino's dad says is a gold digger. But come to find out, he's in love with this girl. He wants to marry her and he wants to have the baby. So it's like, she don't have nothing to blackmail. And I'm glad that they was like, okay, yeah, we're not letting you do that. Yeah, it kind of felt like her story was like not needed. Stella's story was kind of forced. Didn't hold much weight in the end. I mean, I guess it came to a resolve, but it was still like, it just wasn't needed. You know what I'm saying? But my favorite part of this whole competition show at the end is when Stella sabotages everybody, and then Day doesn't have any backup dancers for his set, and all of a sudden all his friends know like this really intricate choreography. Me and my friends, we need choreography for any given moment because you never know when you need to pull it out. In the meantime, Juliana is now dating Kitty's never was girlfriend, Pravina. Can't say that I'm mad at this choice, but it does leave the question, whatever happens to just having a friend? Like, friendships don't exist. You can't get to know somebody and just be their friend. You have to like everybody. You have to date everybody you meet. And then, of course, at the end, Kitty insinuates that she is into Mino. She doesn't say it, but I mean, it's kind of obvious. But my thing is, what is Day gonna think? Because that's still his best friend, and Kitty is still his ex. So how's that gonna work out? She pretty much invites herself to go on tour with Mino and his family. Also, now that Juliana and Pravina are dating, is Yuri gonna try to get back with Kitty, and then they're gonna start this whole triangle love thing again with Mino, Kitty, and Yuri. This season wasn't as, it was just super corny to me. Like, it was kind of corny, but it wasn't bad. What did y'all think of the season? And also, have you guys ever been in any of like these love triangle things? I feel like I asked this on the other teen shows too, because they keep showing like these, oh, I like this guy, and I like this guy, and I like this guy, and I like this girl, and I like, just like, is that how it really happens? I like one person at a time, and that's very rare for me to like anybody. So if I like you, then you must really just be that guy. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't do multiple crushes at one time, but that's just me. Most of my people that watch this channel are older teenagers. If you're watching this, if you're like under 18, what is your thoughts on this show? And what is your thoughts on like how they portray teen love life? Because this is like weird to me, and maybe I'm just out of the loop. I don't know. Also, since this is season 3, then it's possible that this season or the season after will be the last. We need a Lara Jean cameo. Like, there's no way that we're gonna do this whole show and she's not gonna be in a scene. I don't even want a phone call at this point. She needs to be in a scene. Like, your sister is going through all of her love ups and downs, and we're just not gonna see you. Like, no. And I mean, we got Margot, you know, who's, and no offense, but who's checking for Margot? Nobody. So yeah, I don't have any predictions for next season. I just know that it's gonna be like a whole bunch more intertwining relationships that don't need to be. The writing wasn't bad. We closed out the family drama with the Kitty. We closed out, well, we opened a new can of worms with Day and his financial stuff, because, you know, Yuri don't have any money now. Her dad is about to go bankrupt, so that's gonna be interesting to see her new lifestyle. That's all I got. With all that being said, if you haven't done so already, please be sure to click like and hop on over to that subscribe button and hit the bell. Otherwise, YouTube will never show you my videos. My earring is like poking me and I'm trying to get it. As always, I'm all ears. Until next time, bye.